Hey, it's Joe Glines, and I'm continuing to work my way through a lot of the scripts I did in the past. And this one, so let me give you a little setup here. I had changed jobs at TI, and I was working in the internet marketing department where I was told on next day we were going to have testing. And so what I didn't realize was testing is you go into a room with like 8 to 10 people, and they have a new web page they're launching, and there's hundreds of links on the page and different images, and everyone is manually going through link by link and looking at the URL and see if it loads and see if it's the right one. And it was a really, really painful process. So that night I came home, and in about 3 or 4 hours I wrote the start of the script, and then brought it back and showed them what I had done and said I can do, I can add to this. And so let me go ahead and demonstrate it first. So you go to the page you want to check. And I have it set up where you pick the ID, basically like the parent ID of where you want to go from. So on this page, I don't know what it is. At TI, it was very specific because also at TI there was a nav bar and sidebars, and we didn't want to test those because those weren't part of the page. So this allowed me to pick and choose. It didn't check the whole page because then we'd be wasting on time stuff we're not supposed to be checking. So it allowed me to select the area I want to check. So let's just go ahead. I'm not sure what's what in this one. I'm going to hit verify URLs, and you'll watch what happens here. So now I'm going to hit submit. And what's cool is it's going to go through on this page, and you should see in a second, it'll go back and update it. I think, oh, that's funny. All right, let's not pick main. Let's try it again. Let's pick a different one here. Oh, that looks interesting. Verify, submit. So again, if it would make a lot more sense if I knew what I was looking for. Oh, that's not one. All right, let me hold on a second. All right, so let me launch my IWB2 learner tool, and let's just, instead of trying to guess, so that looks like that's a lot of the page, right? So I'd come over here, is there an ID? Yeah, oh, this S4 workspace. I could also say show parent. It looks like that actually is the actual, so ASP.NET form. So that's going to be the ID that I select. So let me re-hit this. There we go, ASP.NET form. Okay, now when we hit, let me do verify. Now you're going to see, every hyperlink that's in here, you're going to see it actually on the page itself get updated, which is a really, really important part, which we didn't have in the other, when we were doing it manually. It's really incredibly hard. So let me hit submit here. Notice it's going through, it numbered every one of those, right? That's the key that in this spreadsheet, yeah, I don't know what that is. Let's just hit okay. So let's maximize this. So it dumps everything into a spreadsheet. And you see how fast that did that? And now look, it's going through, and each one of these URLs, it's verifying that is on the HTTP request, it returns with an OK or a 200, right? So anything that's a yellow or a red, we might have to manually go check. But it does all this for us, right? It does some other stuff too. I'm going to keep letting this run. I don't think it'll mess it up. Now, granted, I haven't run this script in years, so keep in mind, things might break. But here's the link ID. I think that actually we could click it. It does have the actual hyperlink. If there was a name, it would be in that column there. Here's the inner text, so we can just read them straight here. This is the actual URL or the href. Here's the outer HTML. In case there's a problem, we can look at what's there, right? This is where I love. Very handy to have that. And then I also, just for fun, said, okay, what are the most common words on the page? So 51 times the word label appeared, 28 times the word function appeared, 27 the word Capel appeared. So it gives us an idea of kind of what's on the page as well. And again, it's verifying each one of these, and it's just all automated, right? So it goes through, and look at all these links, right? Imagine trying to divide those up into a group, and then let's go back and look at the IE page. So again, so this number 163, right? Let's bring that. What? For some reason, I lost some ability to move around there. So 163. Oh, that's interesting. That was a JavaScript thing. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, it's an image. Duh, that was an image. So it's not text. But imagine trying to track that down. Which hyperlink was this? So it's a really cool script that just saved, I can't tell you how much time and improved accuracy. Look, it's still going along. Well, I'm going to go ahead and exit out of it because you get it. And let's take a quick look. Now, remember, I wrote this saying like I'd say about 8 years ago. So I didn't know what I was doing at the time. You know, I faked a lot of it. And let's just start at the top. So just keep that in mind when we're looking at it, because I had to tweak like 2 or 3 things to make it work. But otherwise, this script is as what it was. So we just start off saying, you know, make it run as fast as possible. So not sleeping in between cycles. It probably doesn't need this, probably doesn't need that. Single since force, absolutely. Changing the icon. Oh, I have it where I guess in the system tray when it's running, I can click there and get the add an ID, change the ID, I guess. Here's my hotkeys to trigger. And this is an important point. I you know, of course, would put in stuff to remind me later that I want to still do, which I don't think I don't know if I ever did these. Yeah, I didn't compare it to the other environments. I could have said, go get this, now go get it from our dev environment, because we were comparing both of them, and do that manual comparison, look them up and tie them together, right? That would have been really cool. I don't remember what those are for. Here we have some Go subs to extract HTML, go to get the stuff for Site Catalyst, get that word count, and then import all that into Excel. Let's just keep scrolling because I usually do stuff in a very linear pattern. So Control I is what you can use to hit to say go get that stuff. This is the GUI that comes up, right? Choose your ID, and then this just cancels it out and closes it. Here's the first part where we extract the HTML. So I connect to IE. It looks like that was an older way where I was doing it, and just get that URL, get the title, and then I think here I was just trimming it down because I wanted, if you look at that spreadsheet, the I set the tab with the name of the title on that page, if I remember correctly, and so that was, again, I would have done this a little differently now, especially like I don't use commands, I'd use functions, and get the ID. So this just tells it what tag we're looking for, and I don't know why I put that in a variable. I'm sure there was a good reason. I could have put it here, I guess, so I can make it easy to change if I wanted to. Get the links, and then start looping over some stuff. Things with inner text. Oh, removing. I think I was wrap line breaks and inner text with quotes. Yeah. So cleaning up some of the text. Just so it fit into Excel properly. Otherwise, it would end up breaking when I was shoving the data into Excel, if I remember right. Get the actual hyperlink and the name if it had one. And let's see. Get the outer HTML. That's where I was grabbing that there. Also, again, cleaning up the line return so it would shove into that cell properly. These also, again, so many of these commands, which I would much rather use functions now. Storing the message with all this stuff together, and then I'm sure here, wow, I put it on the clipboard. Why did I do that? I have no idea. It looks like I even saved it as a file. That's interesting. So we could actually look at it. I don't remember doing that. So I'm saving it there, and then we drop it into Excel. So this is where I had to make a couple minor tweaks, because this is the old. I actually went back and changed how I grabbed that pointer to Excel. I like this format better instead of having it as like a by ref. It just, to me, it's simpler and it's easier. And anyway, so there, here's where I add the tab, the title of the web page to the tab name, the worksheet name. If Excel is not open, boy, why would I do that there? Make it visible, add a new worksheet, and then set the title. That's interesting. Right. Then I don't know why I activated Excel. That's weird. Why was I doing a paste? Yeah, that's weird. Why did I paste things? Well, and that's a function. I have to go look at what's in there. But let's keep going here. So yeah, insert comments. So apparently I had some comments on there, or I could. Here's the top words, here's the top counts. I didn't notice that. I guess that is the numbers, right? And I froze the first row, get the last row. It's interesting that I just got that there. Deal with the alignment and font. and shading. So this is setting up, this must be like the header area. And replace character 10 with the BR. That's interesting. Apparently when you would read it in a certain thing, it would have that character 10, which I think that's an Excel thing that would break that. So this took care of that. Insert the hyperlink. Here's where we're verifying the URL. So instead of pinging with the browser each one of those, I realized with an HTTP request, I could do, I think it's called a head. I think it'll show here later. We can just get the heading, not heading. Yeah, maybe it is. It's the head of the file, and it comes back much faster. You're not loading the whole page. You're just saying, just give me like a little information about it. And here looks like we're getting some of the content stuff, looping over it. Get information about Site Catalyst, which is our tagging, of course, and so we would have that available, which was great because that was a critical thing to make sure that it's tagged properly, so our tracking all works. Getting the word count. And so I was doing the start and end time just to see how long it took. And here's a function for doing the for inserting hyperlinks, verifying the link, blah blah. I guess I was cleaning up. I had some problem with some characters in there, and I even set a cookie for some reason. I think some needed to have a cookie set or it wouldn't work properly. This, if you're looking at your traffic in Fiddler and you want to track that AUTOHOTKEY did it, you need to have these two things set on here. Otherwise, you won't see your traffic in Fiddler from AUTOHOTKEY from the HTTP request. And so try blah blah blah. Error not tested. Just getting some results. Again, this is how you can paste text data. I just don't know why I did paste. That seems really weird to me. Connecting this is just getting IE. This is the time, the minutes to seconds, or milliseconds to minutes, maybe, I forget. Duplicate finder, counter. So that was counting over the number of words, getting the counts, and sorting with regex. I honestly don't remember what I was doing there. I'm sure it was something really cool. So I can make this script available. I'll put it on the GIST and share it. I would just have the caveat that, like, it's going to be very contingent on the web page. I actually tried to go to ti.com and it wouldn't load at all, so I couldn't even do it there. Of course, it'll work on virtually any page. It's got a little customization to TI, but not a lot. And it's driven off of that ID. I probably should have just said had an option like the whole page, or pick an ID, or maybe pick a name. But because of that frame, right, I was trying to make it flexible where I could adjust for that. So hope that helped. Again, it's more about thinking about what you're doing, right? And imagine how much time was spent in groups doing this manually and doing it incorrectly and missing stuff because you just can't keep track of where you are and who's looking at which one, and even which link, like knowing which link hyperlink it is, it just makes it so much easier to go back and realize, hey, I had a problem with this link, I need to go fix it. Well, which one is it? It's because often there's more than one source for a given destination link on a page, right? So tracking that down could be a nightmare. All right, hope that helps. Cheers.